All right, 7 o'clock.
Mimi, start recording. You got mad that I didn't tell you out loud last time.
Thank you. These people like chitter chatter. I get all involved in the conversation.
Recording in progress.
Okay. I'm ready.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thanks, Margaret. Good evening. I'd like to call the regular Borough Council meeting of May 24th, 2021 to order. This meeting has been properly advertised by the Home News Tribune of January 13th, 2021, according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Due to COVID-19, this meeting is being held by means of the use of electronic communications equipment via online video conference provided by Zoom.us. May I have a roll call, please?
Council President Farkas?
Here.
Councilman Ligotti?
Here.
Councilwoman Neubauer?
Here.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Here.
Councilman Peretti? And Councilman Zambrano?
Here.
Okay. Next, we will have a moment of silence, followed by a salute to the flag. We'll start with the moment of silence. And now I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. The minutes from May 10th, 2021. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move that the minutes be approved as typed. Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Ligotti, second by Councilman Zambrana. Any comments about the minutes? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from May 10th?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the bill list. We will have bills and claims. Will the clerk please read by title only the bill resolution 134-2021?
Resolution 134-2021 is authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of, hold on one second, $3,155,984.50.
You have heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move that this resolution be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Ligotti. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas?
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti?
Aye.
Councilwoman Neubauer?
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Aye.
And for the record, Councilman Peretti's absent. Councilman Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is comments from the audience on consent agenda resolutions 135, 2021 through 141, 2021. If any member of the public wishes to speak on any resolutions, please identify yourself to the clerk and say your name and address for the record. These comments are limited to resolutions listed on the consent agenda. Anyone wishes to speak, they can raise their hand. Seeing none, I will close audience comments and ask for a motion in a second. I mean, I'm sorry, never mind. So I'm going to close the public comment and move on to introduction of resolutions. When voting on resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by the Borough Council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any questions, or does anyone want to pull any resolutions from the consent agenda? Okay, there being no request to pull any resolutions, will the clerk please read the consent resolution?
Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meeting. And whereas the borough clerk has posted a consent agenda for this meeting. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and borough council of the borough of Milltown, county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, that the consent agenda previously prepared by the borough clerk be approved without the necessity of having the individual resolutions read by the borough clerk.
You've heard this reading of the resolution. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion that the resolution be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Ligotti, second by Councilman Zambrana. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti,
Aye.
Councilwoman Newbauer,
Aye.
Councilwoman O'Donnell,
Aye.
and Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Motion carries to pass the resolutions 135 through 141.
Okay, thank you. Next, we will move on to the budget public hearing, which is 123B, 2021, adoption of the 2021 budget. The budget synopsis was published in the Home News Tribune on April 30th, 2021. And so full copies of the 2020 budget were available in the Borough Clerk's office. So for the budget resolution 123B-21, adoption of the budget, it's a public hearing and then final adoption. So we will conduct a public hearing this evening, but due to the COVID review process, as the state is behind, we have not yet received clearance to adopt. Is that right, Mimi?
Yes, I believe that's still correct information.
Okay. Therefore, we will not adopt the budget until that clearance has been received. So the resolution by title is 123B-2021.
It's still correct
Adoption
information.
of the okay. Therefore, we will not adopt the budget until that clearance has been Since the received. Introduction of the budget resolution 123A on 2021 on April 26, 2021, the summary was published in the Home News Tribune, posted on the borough website, and bulletin board in the municipal building. The budget was made available at no cost in the office of the municipal clerk. May I have a motion and a second to open the public hearing for budget resolution 123B, 2021, adoption of the 2021 budget?
Move that we open the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilwoman Newbauer. The public hearing on the budget resolution 123B 2021 is now open to any member of the public who wishes to speak on the budget only. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand or follow the instructions by the clerk.
I do not see anyone, but we'll wait a second.
Okay.
I don't see anyone wishing to speak, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. If not, we will close the public hearing portion. And so, Mimi, we're going to go to what? No roll call, right? Until we have this.
No, we don't have to do a roll call. We can close the public session, and then we will skip going through the adoption of the resolution. So you can
okay. So now we're going
down to your reports.
Okay, thank you. So we'll do the vote at hopefully the next meeting, correct? Okay.
As soon as we get clearance, we'll put it on that very next agenda.
All right, great. So now we will move on to the reports. So we'll start this evening with the Department of Finance, Administration, and Planning, Councilman Phil Zambrana.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Tonight, I do not have a Finance Committee report. I do have a short Milltown Revitalization Committee report. Thanks to all our committee members and volunteers who planted and or adopted the pots along Main Street. As the weather has brightened up, all the planters have been pretty much adopted, although there are a few that still are in need of adoption. So if there are any residents along the way who would like to adopt a planter, please reach out to the Milltown Revitalization Committee. The only other thing I have to say is for the 4th of July, from the 4th of July Committee, on behalf of the committee, we're happy to announce that we will be having our Independence Day celebration on Saturday, July 3rd. More information is to follow on the Milltown 4th of July website, Facebook, and Instagram. And that concludes my reports.
Great. Good news. Thank you. Next, we will move on to the Department of Public Safety. Councilman Nick Ligotti.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No official reports tonight, Madam Mayor, but I would like to say, if on behalf of all of our public safety, fire, police, rescue squad, for everyone to have a very safe and happy Memorial Day weekend coming up this weekend. The only other short report I can give you is that the business administrator, myself, and the director of our senior center have started talks on reopening our senior center. More to come soon. We're working on a plan, and hopefully we can get that out to everybody as soon as possible. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Great. Thanks, Nick. Next, we will move on to the Department of Utilities. Council President Randy Farkas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For tonight, inspections. The substation was inspected daily throughout the month of March and April and the first 2 weeks of May. Streetlights were repaired or replaced at 5 different locations. Various staff members took tests associated with the Northwest Lineman's College. Several electric meters were installed to replace defective units. Staff members assisted the billing department in troubleshooting billing issues. The line department assisted the DPW in removing several trees and some dangerous branches at Albert Avenue Park. Receptacles were tested and replaced as needed around Bradford Park in preparation for the upcoming park activities. The auto dialer at Church Street Pump Station was malfunctioning. Members of the utility department performed troubleshooting and replaced necessary parts to get it working. The flow meter was replaced at Church Street Pump Station, and department members ran the station manually while the repairs were being performed by our contractor. Monthly diesel generator testing was performed at all borough facilities. And for the water department, daily inspections were performed at Church Street Pump Station and Elkins Lane Booster Station. Water samples were taken by Agri Environmental and all results were satisfactory. Lead and copper sampling was started. Roughly 95% of the samples have been sent for testing. Results should be mailed out shortly. Utility markouts were performed daily for various emergency and non-emergency excavations. Several sewerage blockages were cleaned out. Sections of sewer were professionally cleaned on 5-3, 5-6, and 5-7. 2 more days of cleaning are being scheduled for next week. The ongoing effort to replace old water meters is continuing, and meters are being replaced daily. The department is continuing to clean out and check valve boxes in the streets for upcoming DEP compliance requirements. Pump number 2 at Church Street Pump Station was removed, inspected, and cleaned. New pressure gauges were installed at Elkins Lane pumping stations by staff members, and filter maintenance was performed on the pressure control valves at Elkins Lane pumping station. That report was submitted by John Eckert from the Utilities Department, and that concludes my report for tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Public Works and Recycling. Councilwoman Anna Newbauer.
Good evening, and thank you, Madam Mayor. Tonight, for the official DPW report, I have, along with all regular curbside collections, we have the following: One tree has been removed that was on the shade tree list on Yarnell Avenue. Street sign repair and Belgian block repair has taken place at Borough Park. The soccer field has been painted. The lines on the field have been painted for soccer. Dangerous limbs at Albert Avenue Park have been cleared throughout the whole property, not just one tree. There was one specific tree that had a specific issue. So they just went through and hit all of the trees. A broken swing was repaired at Borough Park. Mulch has been spread at Borough Hall. Pothole repair is ongoing, and street sweeping is also ongoing. Park maintenance and spring cleanup is ongoing, and cleanups were provided before and after events that were recently held in Borough Park. Please check channel 15 and milltownnj.org for any other DPW updates. Additionally, the DPW committee met with CME to discuss the improvements that will be made to Hague and Patane Avenue, and more will come on that as things progress with that. And also, I was not able to attend, so Margaret attended for me. The Green Team met this past Wednesday on the 19th. They did not have quorum, so they did not take any actions that night, but they did just have like discussion and caught up with each other and on certain things they wanted to get done. And that is what I have to report.
Thank you. Next, we have the Department of Environmental Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Margaret O'Donnell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the library board always has an active meeting, but a couple of things that I'll point out for tonight. They're getting word out about the summer programs for children very actively through their social media and through the schools as best they can, but I thought I would also mention it here. While they have reopened for Saturday hours this weekend in recognition of Memorial Day, they will be closed both on Saturday and on Monday. The library was a partner in the Multicultural Festival that took place on May 15th in Borough Park, and they were also an exhibitor there. They were very pleased with participation in all aspects of the event, and there was a reading section that they helped contribute some books for those of us who read poems and books to both children and adults. Anna mentioned that I attended the Green Team on her behalf, and it's sort of like a sister committee to the Environmental Commission. Many of similar members and certainly very, closely aligned missions, if you will. The Environmental Commission will meet on Wednesday of this week. The Board of Health is hosting a rabies clinic tomorrow night at the new DPW garage. I believe the correct address is 50 Washington. Somebody please correct me. Okay. And the hours are 6 to 8 p.m. It is open to Milltown residents with pets and Middlesex County residents with pets. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you. Does anybody have a report for Department of Recreation for James?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Oh, thanks, Neil.
This report is from the Recreation Department. Registration for the Milltown Borough Pool and Albert Avenue Summer Recreation Camp is now open. Please go to our website under Recreation Department, Program Registration and Community Pass to register. With spring here and summer on the way, please remember if you're interested in renting any Milltown park to contact the Recreation Department directly to acquire a park facility usage form. Please note that we are still accepting non-perishable food donations for our Milltown neighbors in need, as well as for the Middlesex County Food Bank, which also supports Milltown residents. You may drop off items at Borough Hall and place them in the green bins in the hallway of the main entrance during normal business hours. Please remember masks are required to enter the building, and please do not leave food in the police entrance vestibule. For further on for the Rec Advisory Committee, last week's meeting was rescheduled, and that meeting will be held this Wednesday, May 26th. The Zoom information for that meeting can be found on the Borough website. The Historical Preservation Committee will be having its first event in the Historical Preservation Committee Home Workshop Series. That will take place on Saturday, June 5th. Class will be a Masonry Foundations workshop that will focus on real world, hands-on live demonstration workshop on the appropriate means and methods for restoring and maintaining historic brick foundations commonly found within the borough of Milltown. Participants will have the opportunity to mix, tool, and finish mortar samples on mock-up panels. No experience is needed. This free event will be held at 88 Clay Street from 10 to 12 and hosted by the Milltown Historical Preservation Committee Chair, Randy Ruth. Finally, for the Human Relations Committee, Councilman Peretti, as other council members, participated in the multicultural event held on the 15th. That committee had a chance to interact with the community, hand out literature, and create a map highlighting the vast diversity in the town. Be on the lookout for the map to be displayed at Borough Hall at some point. Big thanks to everyone who attended the event. And that concludes my reports for the Recreation, Historical Preservation, and Human Relations Committee, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot because I know James isn't here, but so you said for the pool registration, it's on Community Path?
Yes.
And that's the only place to?
Yeah. At this time, yes.
Okay. So Jeanette, anybody that wants to get their badge should be able to log in and get the Community Path? Is that
not
correct?
up and running on Community Pass yet, but it should be this week. It'll
Okay.
And that's where they register. Yes.
Okay. And then do we have somewhere on the website, or can somebody just explain what happened with Summer Sack in a nutshell? That Summer Sack isn't available?
Jeanette, do you want to take?
I'll take it if you want. The Recreation Committee. So a survey was done. The participation was very, very low, and we were going to have it run. Unfortunately, we had some staffing issues, and so we were unable to even run the small, anticipated number of participants. We were unable to run the program because we didn't have enough experienced staff returning. So that is basically why we're unable to have the program this summer. Okay.
And have the people that expressed an interest have we put an announcement out, or the people that expressed interest, have they all been notified that it's not going to be available this summer?
I believe that the survey, I don't know that I don't believe the survey you had to give all your contact information. I think It just was something that went up on SurveyMonkey. So I know that Councilman Peretti announced it at the last meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I missed that. So thanks, Jeanette. Sorry about that. Appreciate it. Okay, great. Let's see, where are we now? Oh, so we're back to administrator. Anything else, Jeanette?
I don't have anything else to report.
Thank you. The engineer report, Mike McClellan.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Just a short report tonight. First, Tracy Drive, we are performing punch list work, and we understand that there's an approval to have a block party this weekend. So we will make sure that the road is stable so that when the folks come out, that there's no issues out there. Hague Avenue, Patain Avenue, as we indicated earlier, we did have the meeting and Councilwoman Neubauer spoke of it. Basically, the plans will be moved to final now at this point. One issue that was discussed at the meeting and will have to be dealt with is PSC&G is looking to do some improvements onto those two roadways with their mains. We need to coordinate, obviously, the road improvements. We don't want to put them in and then have the gas main replaced. So we're going to try and get them in early so that we can make the deadline from Department of Transportation. In terms of your substation preventive maintenance, they are moving forward. We've got signed contracts, bonds, and insurance certificates from the contractor, which will be sent to the borough for review and processed accordingly. The last issue we have is NJDOT grants. They have announced grant applications through July 1st, 2021. The program has gotten much larger than it had been in the past. Mostly you've applied for roadway improvements and have received those in the past. And but we want you to know about these other categories because I don't want Milltown to miss out we will be sending you a detailed letter with the various programs, but just to highlight them, there's the roads, obviously, we use quite a bit of. Then they have bikeways and safe streets to transit. We have over the years applied for some of these and haven't been successful. They are very competitive. There's only so money to go around. And a lot of times you don't qualify high enough because of the way that you don't really have a transit train station in your town. But I think that we will send a letter out to follow up with these other categories so that if there's something there that sparks your interest and something the borough wants to go through and take a deep look at, please, by all means, let us know. I mean, they'll fund new sidewalks, curb ramps, sidewalk improvements, pedestrian signals, and push buttons at key intersections. We don't push these because the competition is so large. These categories are small in number. But take a look at it. If there's something that you want us to apply for, we can work with the administrator and get those done. That's all we have report tonight for our report, other than there's any questions.
Thanks, Mike. Guess it doesn't hurt to try, right? It doesn't hurt to ask.
That's right.
Anybody have any questions for Mike? I do, Mike. Where do we stand with the corrosion inhibitor project?
We are attempting to get an accurate estimate because I'm sure you all know the supply chain for most things has gotten to be a major problem because of the corona. We have not been able to get a reasonable estimate from our folks at Rapid, which we did seek to get. We're trying one more time this week, and if not, there'll be a recommendation to possibly bid the project under normal. We had tried to do it, if you remember, under the co-op, but the numbers are just not reasonable. So we would recommend that you go to bid. We did have a meeting with DEP today about several issues, but certainly this has to be something that gets done.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Yep. Next, we will move on to our borough attorney's report. Mr. Peter Vignola.
Nothing to report, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So I have a couple of comments and a couple of reminders. First of all, I wanted to mention that the primary election is coming up on June 8th. And this year to partly because the school has just gone back to all in-person sessions. Normally we would have the polling places at the senior center and at Joyce Kilmer in the gym. However, the children are having lunch in the gym now, so to accommodate social distancing. So rather than disrupt the school just after they've gone back, we asked if we could consolidate the polling places. Normally the primary isn't too busy. And so we were allowed to consolidate the polls this year. So all residents in districts 1, 2, 3, and 4 that normally would vote at Joyce Kilmer School will be at the senior center for primary day, which is Tuesday, June 8th. And we'll have that information on the website too, right, Mimi?
Yes, and each of those individuals will receive, we're required to notify them in person. So a mailing will be going out this week, and then we'll blast it on our website and everywhere else we can. But
okay, great. The other thing I just wanted to remind everyone is May is the month when our Milltown Rescue Squad does their fundraising. So please look for the website so you can make your donations online. And I don't know if you have any more information about that, but there you can find the information under Milltown Rescue Squad. I think it's .org. But please be generous because they're very generous with their time and energy to Milltown. Also, with Memorial Day coming up, we have the Hometown Heroes, which will be at the American Legion this year outside at the Pavilion at 1 o'clock. So please join us there to honor Milltown's heroes. And then also the fire department will be having their Memorial Day parade and honor on Main Street this year. And Nick, I believe that's at 11. Is that right? I don't have it written down in front of me.
I think, Madam Mayor, I think they're going to be doing their usual ceremonies. I believe it is either, if it's not 11, it's 10. I'm not positive, but I believe they'll be doing something at the Main Street Firehouse, and I think Cottage Avenue, they do a little something there as well.
Yeah. So apologies to the fire department for not having the exact time, but so if you care to join them, I'm sure you can find it on their website also. And that's all I have this evening. So I'll ask the council, do you have any old business to bring before the council this evening?
Yes, Madam Mayor, just for Borough Attorney, Peter, I know the governor came out with some more variations on his order. So where are we with the restaurants, the outside dining now? Are we still in that phase, or can we get out of that phase?
I'll take a look into it, Councilman Farkas. I haven't gotten my arms around it yet. It's one of my to-do lists, so I will get you an answer to that by next time. But I mean, I know we've opened up certain things, and I'm not exactly sure where we are.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just one other thing, just for the rabies clinic, just a reminder for everyone to make sure that you bring an ID, because it is for Milltown residents and Middlesex County residents, and you have to prove that you are one or the other. So as a veteran of doing rabies clinics, I know that it can be an issue sometimes. So just a reminder to bring your IDs if you're going to come. And that's it for me, Madam Mayor.
Thanks. Anybody else have any old business? Okay, does anyone have any new business they'd like to bring before the council this evening? Seeing none, I will move on to audience comments. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. The council will respect the public's time by refraining until the speaker has finished. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer. If a member of the public has questions they seek more detailed answers to, they can make an appointment with the appropriate official. Please state your name and address for the record when you wish to speak, and follow the instructions or raise your hand if you'd like to speak. Seeing none, I will close audience comments and ask if there are any council comments.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have a few, if you would indulge me. I'm going to start off with a couple of sad comments. Milltown lost two very iconic people since the last meeting. The first being Gloria Kamens, who was the assistant for the senior center. It's a loss that our whole community is sympathizing with. The other loss that Milltown has was the loss of Miss Joan Trent, who was the owner of our Milltown Ice Cream Depot. I can tell you on a personal note, a wonderful woman, wonderful to Milltown. I couldn't even count probably how many of our children over all the years that she's employed and mentored, going from 25 years ago till now. A big loss for Milltown. Sorry to see that happen. I'll get off of sad and I'll go on to better comments I might have for you. Is that everybody might know I work in Manhattan. We had a couple of new employees for where I work, and one woman there realized where I lived, and she was very excited to say she went to a multicultural event there last week, and her daughter had the greatest time in the world. And she wasn't from Milltown, but the word got out there, and they had a very nice time. I was unable to attend the multicultural event, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to be there. The last thing I want to do is, because of who was here, who wasn't, in the time spaces, I'd like to wish the mayor a happy belated birthday, and I'd like to wish the council president a happy birthday coming up as well.
Yes.
That's it for me.
Thank you.
Yes. Lots of stuff going on in May. Now it's back to reality. Ooh. Thank you, Nick. And yes, our sincere condolences go to the families, and thank you for bringing that up, because they are two folks that have really had a positive impact on Milltown over many, many years. So it's sad to say goodbye. Anyone else have any comments? Okay. So then I will read that we will now go to executive session. The public will be excluded from this portion of the meeting to permit the council to consider matters appropriate for discussion in such a session. The Borough Council will convene in private. So I will read Resolution 142, 2021, a resolution of the Borough of Milltown authorizing the discussion of matters in a closed session pursuant to the statutory exclusions of NJSA 10:4-12. Do I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 142, 2021 for executive session?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Council President Farkas, second by Councilman Ligotti. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Farkas,
Aye.
Councilman Ligotti,
Aye.
Councilwoman Newbauer,
Aye.
Councilman O'Donnell,
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
We will reconvene when we're completed and
There will be no action taken.
Okay. Thank you.